Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Wayfare Recording Podcast. This is the first one of, I'm not too sure how many we'll be doing. I'm going to guess probably about 11 or 12. But nonetheless, this is the pilot episode. If you are checking this out specifically, as opposed to the entire show, you'll be finding this on only YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, I believe, but not on the website. This podcast is specifically designed for to introduce whomever may find this show the world of podcasting, showing them what is a podcast, how to make a podcast, what is the philosophy of a podcast, I suppose. But basically, I guess to fully encompass that into one item, we're going to be working through the agency's workbook, Wayfare Recording Company's Podcast Strategy Workbook. And that's basically where you'll find all these ideas, concepts, and notions, and you'll find it on our website, whether if you fill out one of our forms to talk with us. By doing that, you'll get to a thank you page, and it'll have like our CV, our podcast, our workbook. It's just a couple of goodies that you'll get. But yeah, basically this video series, this podcast series, this audio series is really to kind of guide you through it step by step. In case you have any questions, in case you want to kind of get some FaceTime with us as a matter of speak, as a matter of, in a sense, I guess, since, this isn't FaceTime, I'm not actually responding to you, but you're listening to me, you're watching me. And yeah, this episode specifically is more not to go through that though, but kind of just to get an idea of who the agency is, who I am, who you're listening to, why are we even checking out the show, and what's the goal of the show outside of the workbook? Well, the goal of the show is the workbook, but the goal of the show is also to kind of get you a sense of really like a firsthand look as to what a podcast could look like and listen like. And I'm sure you kind of already know that if you're a fan of a podcast, if you're just thinking about a podcast, you know what a podcast is and what it can look like. But really, I find that when I find that I'm working with people, I get the sense that they think that they need to do everything that those big podcaster, like they need to get the really expensive equipment. They really need to get the really expensive studio set up. They really need to just get it all right the first time. And that certainly is helpful for your credibility, for your presentation. I mean, you want to look really, first impressions and consistent impressions are really important for sure. But I mean, it really doesn't take too much to get a podcast to look even remotely good looking, sound looking, and professional all at the same time. So I guess all of that to say is if you're watching this and you're listening to this, like you'll hear that the audio quality is good, the video quality is good. The way that I'm presenting it, if you're watching it, I'm kind of realizing right now as I'm doing this, I'm not really making eye contact with the camera. But I mean, as you're listening through this and you're watching through this, you'll notice I may not be always in the same place, and you might hear my dog in the background sleeping. Literally right before I hit the record button on this, he was definitely sleep talking. He was definitely sleeping, that's for sure. I don't know, maybe I woke him up while I was hitting record on this, but nonetheless, like it really does not take a lot, but what it does take is consistency in your scheduling. It takes consistency in your presentation, and it really, consistency is really the thing that I really kind of push through when I'm talking with potential clients. So with that said, kind of more onto who we are, what we're about, Wayfare Recording Company on the whole, and then you can be on your way listening to the next episode. I say that meaning I really want these episodes to be short, digestible, and to the point, and help you just start working through that workbook. So who we are. So we are a team of technicians, people who help with the post-production, who help with the editing, the content editing, the mixing, the mastering, making sure that everything you're saying is nice, consistent, and clean. Two really cool guys are on the team right now that might date this, if you watch this like 5 years from now, and now we have like, I don't know, hopefully way more than two. But two really awesome guys. I'm sure one of them is working on this. Dan, Matt, hello. And they do video production and audio production. So that one of them are definitely going to be working on this particular episode, doing the whole graphics, doing the whole music. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty lo-fi, but I still consistently want to make it look cool because that's how I want it to look. Then we also have an awesome assistant, Anna. She's great. And myself. So I've been doing this, name's John, been doing this for about, at the time of this recording, 8 years now? 9 years? I think, one of those two, for quite a while. I really wanted to get this, I really wanted to get into the music production scene, and I really started to see a need in podcasting. When I started, podcasting was huge. Joe Rogan was really starting to get pretty big. I don't believe he was signed to Spotify quite yet at that point. I don't follow him personally too much. I like to listen to more people like Rich Roll. He's my current favorite right now. I found my first client. Really realized that there was something here in the podcasting world, and I just wanted to pursue it. Really our big thing is to make sure that, anyone new, veteran to the podcasting scene, that like they see the production of podcasting as consistently, coherently, and easy as possible. Anyone on our roster of clients, if you ask them like, is this team legit? I would hope, and I would really like to say or think that they would say that we make things super easy and clear for them. We're a full team of video and audio editors, do publishing, transcription, and consulting, which is why you're here. With that being said, we are getting pretty close to the 10-minute mark. I don't know, maybe some future episodes will be super longer than that, and I won't really be paying attention. I am right now because this is my first recording of the series, so I'm very mindful of it. But with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want to get the book and download it and really start to dive in with us, whether it's following along, go through the entire book first and see what we have to say. You can find the link to the workbook in the description in the show notes associated with this episode. If you're watching this on video, it'll be in the description below the video. And if you're if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you'll find this in the show notes. With that being said, I will see you in the next episode. See you guys.